What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to another stream. George is here already. Welcome, George. Thanks for joining me tonight. Putting an ECU back in your parents' SVX. That sounds like a shit of a job. Tonight, we're welding this R32 catch can. This is a brushed finish. It's actually been burnished. And we're going to try and keep it this way. Obviously, well, maybe not obvious, but if the weld doesn't go well, this will be a powder coated finished instead of a brush finished. I'm going to use a couple of bits of alfoil to have a soft surface for the tank to sit on, so we can still get an earth through the table to the part. Just got that extra piece there to put underneath the chill blocks as we go around. Partner's car, not parent's car. I gotcha. New ECU or just replacing the factory ECU? We need to change this. You guys won't see it, but this is what I want. Okay, g'day Chris. Welcome to the stream. Hope you've had an awesome day today. So, the last 24 hours, we've had, I think the most subscriber growth that I've ever had on the channel in one single day. And I appreciate every single one of you. It doesn't update in that little corner thing that I've got going on if you've got your information turned to private, which most people do. Which is a shame, but it's happened, and you guys are all bloody amazing. So let's jump into this screen here. So I've got a couple of things that are going to make this a little bit tricky. One is my Lazy Susan bearing. I was going to say my Lazy Susan bearing is not spinning well, but it's got the key in it still from the rotary table. So here I had a blowout when I was welding the internal baffles. So on the other side of that corner there, let's just zoom in. On the other side of that corner, it joins up to a splash plate that I've got underneath there, and I had a shitty setting from another job I was working on today and didn't realise and blew that corner out. So we're going to have to fill that and deal with it. Other than that, I got really good fit up on this tank, so it should be a really nice weld tonight. Skyline is missing a radiator now. Upgrading, or was there a problem? Hopefully you've got a new one, because I understand there's quite a delay at the moment on R34 radiators. At least another customer that I've got is really struggling to get anything out of PWR right now. But yeah, you go for your dinner, man. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I'll chat to you on Facebook, I assume. Appreciate it, mate. So I'm just going to wipe this down. I still haven't replaced my microfiber towel, which I really need to do. Tonight I was going to advertise the stream on the TIG Welding Australia Facebook group, but their rules state no self-promotion, which I assume this falls under. I had a moment of courage where I thought I might broadcast to the world that I'm here. But I will chat to the moderators and see if they will allow me to advertise the stream there, to see if anybody else wants to come along and help make me a better welder. Let's pop into settings, and I have, God, you can't see that, but that screen's all derpy. I have set the camera up, and I'll pop into the screen. You won't be able to hear me. So I've set up the camera on this weird angle to try and get the foot pedal in the shot as well, and I've put a key light or a light on my foot there, so hopefully that works. We'll see how it goes. I can't use the mouse to control the welder. And I did want to play around with the frequency a little bit tonight. I know we've settled on 120 Hertz, but I just want to see if I can drop that down or raise that up without affecting the stream setup, and see if we can get some better results. It's probably not the best product or best situation to want to play with that stuff, but I feel like I want to mix things up tonight, so that's what's going to happen. So we're going to use a pulse setting to weld in this filter cradle. I have just tacked this tank together and have not bowled the tungsten yet, so it has rounded off a little bit, but I'm just going to pop a bowl on that using where are you guys? Zip, zip, zip over here. So just on that brass block, I'm just going to pop a bowl on there. I'll just pop you in a welding screen. So I've got a nice bowl on that. This is actually a trimix tungsten. The purple tungsten you get from KO welding supplies. And I keep meaning to find the information, and I don't think I have it. Negative. But it's just a trimix, so it's not the pink weld-porn tungsten, but it is a I think it's a lanthanated blend. But that's what we've got tonight. So basically, I've got a mix of those and 2% lanthanated, and that's just what we pulled out of the drawer tonight. So I'm going to get you in focus. And we're going to weld up these corners first, here, here, and here. So you'll see the bulk of that. This one's going to be tricky. I'm really going to spend some time and fill that one. And I will start there, which will be, you're not going to see much, but we'll get it done and I'll come back and show you. Alright, and I just touch the tungsten ever so slightly on that. Use my tick finger here to wipe off the soot there. So you can see the blast of the tungsten touching, but I managed to seal that off, no worries, but it does mean that we're going to swap out the tungsten. And this is actually my last trimix in my pre-sharpened tungsten tray. I should show you my tungsten tray. They're a bit sticky in my torch because I have put paint pen on the end of them to identify them once they're cut in half. While they're still long, you can see in the middle there that I have paint in the center, and I have a short on what I do with these tungstens, but I have paint in the middle and I sharpen both ends, and then as they get too short to use both ends, I put paint on the opposite end and use one end until they're no longer serviceable. But my tungsten tray down here is just a laser cut tray. So it's 2 pieces of 3mm MDF, and I have new sharpened tungstens in one side, used in the other, and I've got to remove a few of these, but just down here I have a pen line, so when a tungsten gets down to that line it no longer fits in the torch and it's time to throw it in the tungsten jar. So I have a tungsten jar where I collect bits and pieces. I collect tungsten, I guess, for no real reason. And I have, I'm going to regret this maybe, and I have 2 rare earth magnets on the back, so I can put that on the table and it doesn't walk around. So we're going to switch to a 2% lanthanated 2.4mm tungsten because that's what we got. Yeah, I've got wedge collets, Chris. On my last CK order I grabbed a bunch of wedge collets. This one that's in there right now has been in there for about 8 months, I want to say, and they work bloody great. So a bit of deja vu, I'm going to round that tungsten again. Digging that welding music right now. So nice ball on the end of that tungsten there. So 2% lanthanated instead of the trimix we were running previously. So now we've got to get back in, I'll spin the right dial, got to get back into those 4 corners, here, here, and over here. You'll get to see all of that just. We'll pop your welding helmet on and we'll dive into it. Alright, all tacked up. Did that camera move, or did I just rotate way out of shot? So, so I just did a couple of extra tacks along here. They were a bit larger than I wanted them to be, but they will blend in fine, I'm sure. So I might zoom you out a little bit. I'm going to run around this part. I was watching the footage back yesterday, and I really need a bigger table to weld on, a little plate to weld on, I guess. So you'll see all of that. You're pretty well in focus. I'll pop your welding helmet on. And let's get it. Remarkably, that welding foot situation camera has continued to work. I've tried putting it into auto mode for most of its settings except for brightness, to hope that that might help it. With the help of Google, of course, we're trying to figure things out. I got some pretty good welds around there. I'm never truly happy with these inside welds, but they're pretty nice, I guess. I still don't understand the difference between me doing an outside corner joint on the outside or an outside corner joint on the inside. I don't understand. It's got to be a mental thing inside of my head, but I always feel like I never get as good a weld as I do on an outside corner joint. We're going to flick him over here and weld that bottom seam. And all the fit up looks pretty good. A little bit of distortion across here, but we're going to deal with that later on. So I need to touch up the two ends and then weld across. I'm actually going to weld across in this direction. Get you over there and let's zoom in. That's effectively where you guys are going to be, but I am going to just rotate the part while I weld these two ends. I'm going to chuck your welding helmet on and let's dive into it. Alright, well that turned out pretty good. It actually felt like I was using 4043. It's got that look about it. But I think I was just a bit too hot on that weld, really, but it came up really good. So next up is this curve here, which is a triple angle curve on the bottom. It not only curves around, but it changes directions twice. You can see here and here it changes angles, as well as having that curve in it. And I've totally misplaced my curved. It's in the drawer it shouldn't be in. And I've just unplugged my light down here. This light that I've got on the foot pedal uses battery faster than I can charge it. Which I think might be a sign that it needs replacing, but the battery, not the light. Alright, so we're going to do this. I'm going to just grab my third hand. I don't know why, but this rotary table has a mind of its own tonight. So yeah, I'm going to run along the straight and then up to this join section here, this folded section, and then up to this corner. So I'll do it in 3 bites. I will just put a tack on this corner here just to join those 3 panels together so it doesn't blow apart as we approach it. So let's get your welding helmet on, if I can find it. There it is. Jump in this screen. Well, I think first we should get the settings set. So let's push the wrong button on this screen. So I'm going to go into profile number 1, which is a straight current setting at 105 amps. It is at 120 hertz. I am just going to do an experiment at 115 hertz. and see if that disrupts the electronics of the stream at all. You've still got your welding helmet on, so we will dive in. I felt like I had a really derpy technique then, where I was moving, waiting, then dabbing instead of moving, dabbing, moving, dabbing, and waiting. And I had a blowout right here, which I shouldn't have because the join was perfect. It was just really weird. I just sort of caught myself daydreaming and welding in a derpy style, and I don't know why I was using that style, but anyway, I did, and we did, and going up this curve, I used the more appropriate welding style. So it all looks really good though. 115 amps or anything under 105 amps is where I like to weld, just from a sound perspective. I think I've told the story in the past of having thin walls and a neighbor who didn't appreciate my welding. So I actually adopted a style welding as quietly as possible for AC welding. And now I sort of use that as my metric of welder settings. I'm going to put the curved prop in the prop drawer, and I will definitely forget Next up, we're going to weld the back and the curb side, and look at this weird blemish we've got there. There's not much I can do about that because we are so hot. The only thing I can try but I will be able to rectify that after welding since it's right in the middle there. It's a little bit of a shame. So back curb side is what we're working on. Let's just push this up to the end of the board. We're going to get across here and then turn and come across here. I think that's not too bad of an angle. There and there, you'll be able to see the bulk of that. Very hard to choose a focal point, but let's use that as our focal point. Alright, so I'm going to get into the settings screen, and I'm going to bump that up to 130 Hertz for an experiment. And what do we need to do? We need to put your welding helmet on and jump in. Oh, we just lost connection. No, there we go. actually felt like a super narrow bead, but coming out and looking at it, it's not too bad. Definitely not a fan of the frequency being that high. It felt like it was slow going. I'm very curious to know what the overall amps or the running amps were. But it was a nice weld for sure. It's very blown out on the ISO there, but yeah, looks really great, really clean. Had excellent heat management through that that normal area where it picks up the front baffle, lets go of the rear baffle, and there's that 7mm hole. You can see that there was, I guess it was in my part, a little bit of apprehension leading up to that hole, but it did give me a lot of control. Do I dare to change it on the same welding plane? That is the question. Over here we're going to weld, and then I'm going to spin it. I'd like to push that back a little, so there and then there. You're going to see all that. Let's get you in focus. Yeah, thank you, Chris. All I can see now is that blemish on top, so nothing else matters to me at this point. But the welding is coming up great. I think that I'm going to drop down to 125, and when I flip to the underside, I might experiment with going higher than 130 on the frequency. Makes me sort of think I should play with the wave type once I sort of get over that 130 mark, but at least for the top of this tank, I'll try and keep everything as uniform as possible. I'm just going to pop on my chill block here and stop that from rotating. Let's get your welding helmet on and jump into a welding screen. I didn't terminate that weld super gracefully, but it is a really nice weld. It always looks shitty in the camera when I tell you it's nice. If you look at it from that angle, that's what I see. Yeah, 125 hertz feels really nice. I slowed down the travel speed a little bit to try and get a bit more width back into that. So it's a little bit wider than the weld around the curb side there. But yeah, got really, really nice, concise sort of feathering around the edges. I'm really happy with that. You can see right there above that first hole where I backed off a little bit too far, so it's a little bit cold right above that hole, but yeah, that's a great looking weld. Really nice etch zone tonight too. I must have the gas dialed in, which is surprising because I didn't actually check it tonight. And I did, I fit a new gas line from the bottle to the machine today as well, with this new bench setup, which you can probably see. Can you see on the widescreen? No, you don't get to see the bottle, but the bottle I have over here with a cabinet in front of it. It's actually a welding trolley with a cabinet, and then I have the welder over this side here, and partly to fill the area, and I've got this post here, which is a pain in the butt for laying the shop out, but I've got power over that side, nothing over here, so it makes sense to separate the gas, and I don't get access to the back of the welder, but here I can get access to the gas bottle. So anyway, long story long, I put in a longer gas line so I could change the direction of the machine to give myself more room for the foot pedal, make myself more comfortable, yada yada, etc. I should have checked the gas, is what I'm trying to say, because I changed something on the machine and didn't check the gas. But it's flowing beautiful, so I'm not going to check the gas. You can't tell me what to do. So I'm going to weld across the back here. We're going to go all the way down here, and I'll make sure you're in focus at the end of the weld. Put your welding helmet on and let's get into it. Alrighty. Feels like with that higher frequency that it's slower going, and I definitely feel like I'm not putting as much heat in. I guess the heat is a bit more focused. I'm witnessing, now that I've done the weld, a little bit of undulation in the weld, which you can sort of see as I roll it around here, which is something that I despise. So through here, so almost right there where it drops down, you can almost tell exactly where the baffle ends, and then when the second baffle back here picks up, you know, you can definitely see that fluctuation. So maybe higher frequency isn't for me, which is fine. That's what we're doing tonight. We're having a little bit of an experiment. So time to do the vertical welds on this. Man, this is a nice looking catch can. So I want to do this weld here, and then I'm going to follow it up with that weld back there. Difficult to get much better of an angle than that. So let's try and meet you in the middle with focus. Stick your welding helmet on. But first, let's change those settings. Which, I mean, we're having great luck with 120 Hertz previously. We obviously settled on that for a reason. So what if I change to sine wave? In my experience, I always need to put a few more amps in when I use sine wave, so I'm just going to up it from 105 to 110. I'll leave it at 120, I'll leave it at negative 28 on the AC balance, and I'll leave that 5% high frequency start boost. And let's see how that goes. Alright, it really feels like it's struggling to get a good arc, and I get that often when I try these other waveforms, but still a really nice weld. It's a lot rounder. It sort of has the characteristics of the profile, and really doesn't give a definitive dab. If you didn't actually see the etch lines or the cooling lines on those dabs, it's actually just a super smooth weld. Really hard to describe. It's one of those feeling type situations, I guess, but I'm just going to continue on and do this other vertical. We're going to buzz across here, and why not? Let's jump over to settings and get that Optima wave for this one. We'll stick everything else the same. We're just going to try that wave and see how we feel about it. Let's get your welding helmet on and jump into the welding screen. Yeah, I'm just not a fan of that, of the feel of that setting. Just spin it around there and show you what's going on. Not a bad weld by any means, but just feels really weird to me. And if I back off the pedal a tiny little bit, it not only sounds weird, but it feels like it backs off way more than, or disrupts the puddle, I should say, way more than the amount that I'm backing off the pedal. But maybe just so many years of running square wave, it's just hard to use another setting. Alright, so we're going to get to this back section here. If I can find the focus. So I'm going to travel up here. You can see that well enough. What should we do? Let's just, for an experiment, I'm going to stick with the Optima setting and just bump it up to 135 Hertz. And you guys need your welding helmet on. I need to put you in a welding screen. It's just a really inconsistent arc for me. And I guess there's numerous things it could be, but it seems to be very pronounced when I play around with these different wave settings. Still a good weld. I mean, you're hard pressed to find a fault with the weld itself, but it just doesn't feel nice to use it. It's square wave. It's got to be square wave for me. It's just who I am. It's just who I am. Let's jump into the settings screen. So back to square. Let's leave it at. Actually, let's go up to 140 for an experiment. And we're going to do this flat section. I'm just going to pop a chill block there. Let's check to see if you can still see. For the most part, you can. Across there, you'll get a good view of that. We'll just pop you in, pop your welding helmet on. I'll pop you in welding screen 2 for a change. Okay, not a bad weld, of course. Can you see? What can you see here? Let's get some focus going on. Not a bad weld. It's just through this section right here. There's a bit too much heat in the weld. And that was a travel speed issue on my part. Trying to keep a consistent width. I'm kind of feeling like if it ain't broke, don't fix it situation with the frequency. I think we got it really dialed in at 120 hertz. What is there to gain by playing around with multiples of 1? For example, 121, 122, 123, etc. Like is 122 the sweet spot? I keep losing connection with my mouse. Is that a sign that I need to buy a stream deck? Maybe. So I've set that to 122, down from 140. I'm going to weld across this front face. Let's pop a chill block on. Got, I have no idea what that noise was, but something exciting is going on out in the world. It's just a motorbike. no cause for concern. Let's get this third hand and pop your welding helmet on. Jump into a welding screen. Alright, that just feels right to me. 120 hertz just feels great, looks great, sounds great, everything feels good. Let's jump here. So just, I don't think it's going to make a difference, but let's just see what happens at 123. Pop that third hand back on. Let's get you in here and where are you? There you are. Zoom right in and focus you up, and let's pop your welding helmet on and dive in here. Okie dokie. You zoomed too far in. Where are you? Right there. Let's focus that up. So 122, 123 feel bloody great. Yeah, you're exactly right, Chris. It is a case of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But if we don't try, we won't know. Considering I've gone from 105 square wave to 120 and really loving it, and actually getting a much shinier bead. You know, the playing around on these streams has definitely taught me to change settings. And while I'm thinking of that, something that I often forget to do is come in here and save the changes. The worst thing about the Kempi machine is that it doesn't auto-save every time a change is made. It might be like a good thing and a bad thing, but quite often, recently at least, I'll do these streams and we'll make some changes and I'll be super happy. Come in the next day and everything's reverted back to how it was. But we've saved those, pretty good. Let's get in this looking screen. Look at that. So yeah, so we've addressed everything. All I can see is that blem on top, but it's not going to be a problem. This is actually a really great looking catch can. I was hoping to have this completed as a raw finish tank, and if I can manage to redress that blemish on top, this will definitely be a raw finish tank. You can see in that baffle in there, there's some contamination on that baffle plate, and that was a watermark on the sheet of aluminium when I cut it. Not that it matters in there because it's not going to get welded or anything, but it's just interesting that you can see it poking through there. But we smashed it. How are we doing for time? An hour 13. Really done a great job tonight. I only have one more can prep, so as much as I feel like carrying on welding, I'm going to save that for tomorrow just in case I don't get the opportunity to prep some more parts. I do have a pretty chaotic day booked for tomorrow. So I'm really happy with how this catch can turned out tonight, and I can't believe that we didn't have a single camera drop out. Nothing went wrong tonight. Not much has been changed. I did reroute some cabling, both back here on the computer and over on this side as well, and I laser cut a whole bunch of carbon filters for the computer today too. Then I was thinking about it, it'd probably be a cool little project to do a stream on, little odd jobs like that I do. But yeah, really happy with how it turned out. Chris, thank you so much for spending this time with me tonight. You have no idea how much I love that you pop in every single night. It means the world. George was here at the start of the night. Again, man, thank you for joining me. Hopefully you got your ECU sorted. I didn't actually watch the stream counter tonight, but for anyone else who joined me tonight, you rock as well. I bloody love that all of you guys show up and send me support. Everybody who subscribed today, today being my biggest subscriber jump in the history of my channel, thank you. You are helping me get to this 1,000 sub goal that is so important for the growth of this stream. Everybody who watches the VOD after this stream is live. Thank you. Feeling very appreciative tonight. Tomorrow night we got a cool catch can to weld. If not, we've got some other cool things going on, and I can't wait. I really just feel like welding now, but I need to go live my life. So, Chris, you have a good night also. Thank you so much, mate. Everybody else, I'll see you all tomorrow.